Welcome back, hero enthusiasts. In part 2 of What If, we continue Deku's journey in a world shaped by a simple mistake, where love and light take center stage. If you're ready for more twists and turns, hit play and let's see where this alternate path leads our favorite hero. While the three involved were leaving the dorms, everyone started arguing about what to watch while they waited. Ida and Momo decided to create an order where they would pick videos based on rock, paper, scissors between two people selected by lottery. The first person was trying to choose a video, but with so many options, it was hard to decide. Mina, hurry up, Saro. The pink-haired girl shouted at the black-haired guy, who just nervously smiled. Saro, A long list of interesting things could be seen in the video thumbnails. File number 128. In the video. A quiet day on the outskirts of the city, a vast shooting range extending 3 kilometers. Today, Izuku had a meeting with his favorite weapons expert. He would finally learn to shoot properly. Izuku, Kaina. The freckled guy looked at the girl with a hunting rifle beside him. Izuku, Kaina. The freckled guy looked at the girl with a hunting rifle beside him. Kaina, Izuku. She replied with joy. I hope you're ready. Izuku, of course. He stood by her side and hugged her with a bit of strength. And what are we doing today? Kaina, today, we'll just practice. You know, the basics of shooting. We'll see how much you've improved. The freckled guy jumped in place. Being with Kaina was very cool. For the next 5 minutes, you could only see how Izuku practiced and Kaina corrected little things the freckled guy did. It stood out a lot, given the smile Kaina dedicated to the green-haired guy, who just focused on it. Kaina, not bad. She looked at the field. He had hit half. Not bad for the short time you've been doing this. Izuku, I had a very good teacher. The innocent smile made Kaina's heart skip a beat, as did some girls watching this. Kaina, you deserve a reward for trying so hard, Izuku. The freckled guy got excited and was already thinking about what he would receive when his lips met the two colored girls. I hope you like it. Izuku, his blush was very sweet. Kaina loved teasing the freckled guy, so she didn't hold back from laughing at his reaction. Two can play that game, he said with a pout and kissed her, catching the two-colored girl off guard. I hope you like it. With a blush, he left the two-colored girl and quickly went away. He knew what was coming, a very good chase that would end with Kaina angry for not being able to catch the green meteor. End of the video. Uraka, me Midoriya-san kissed, astonishment left everyone speechless. But he's with Senpai. Mineta, damn you, Midoriya, he cried blood seeing the fate of the freckled guy. Momo, let's not jump to conclusions, maybe there's a reason for this. The raven-haired girl refused to think that her freckled crush was unfaithful. Kyoka, or he could be a damn cheater like someone I know. She muttered loudly, causing sadness in a nearby blonde. Mina, come on, it's Midori-kun we're talking about, there's surely a reason for this. The pink-haired girl calmed everyone. Whose turn is it to choose? Kyoka, mine. Without enthusiasm, she went to pick the video, looking for something that interested her and trying to get rid of the bad taste in her mouth. File number 100. In the video. Izuku was in the area where Senku had his laboratory. Today, he was going to train, so someone was watching him to make sure he didn't go overboard and do something crazy like jumping to the moon. Again. Izuku, are you sure there, Mimosa? He smiled at his companion, who just smiled back with a small blush. Izuku, are you sure there, Mimosa? He smiled at his companion, who just smiled back with a small blush. Vermilion Mimosa. Quirk, wild fauna, creates and manipulates vegetation at will, known to possess healing power with the same plants. Mimosa, pretty sure, Izuku-san. She assured him, and the freckled guy nodded. Izuku, alright. He flexed, ready to jump. Senku, now. Instantly, many robots emerged from the ground with weapons ready. Let's begin. Rays and lasers flew everywhere, along with piercing bullets, all directed at Izuku. Cool as a cucumber, he avoided almost everything, and what little could hit him only tickled his exposed skin. After that, combat robots arrived to provide a greater challenge to the green-haired guy, but it didn't happen. As the minutes passed, his teammates couldn't stop marveling at the amount of strength and power the freckled guy demonstrated, avoiding even missiles coming from who knows where. Finally, he seemed to stop after being left almost in his underwear and smoking. Some robots did manage to inflict considerable damage. Mimosa, Izuku-san. The girl hurried to take the freckled guy in her arms and supported him on her thighs. Let me heal you. Izuku, thanks, Mimosa. He was starting to get tired, having used too much energy. I think. I'll sleep now. End of the video. The atmosphere changed as they observed their friend's effort. It was clear he had the will to achieve whatever he set his mind to, both terrifying and hopeful at the same time. Kyoka, that broccoli head will seriously hurt himself if he keeps this up, she said, a bit scared that the freckled guy might injure himself further. Katsuki, we told him the same, but at this point, I don't think he cares, the blonde said, accompanied by his teammates. All Might and Aizawa finally arrived. The damn idiot. Shoto, let him be, you know how he is about this. A lump formed in his throat, there was still that pain for not helping his friend when he needed it the most. Aizawa, I'll put something on to shift your thoughts, he went to see what was there. Number 30. In the video. A quite ordinary house somewhere in the world. Today, Lloyd was undercover on a mission, so he couldn't take care of someone very special who loved spies. Izuku, Anya, where are you? He shouted from the living room and heard the girls' laughter in the kitchen. Well, I'll have to eat these sweets alone, no other choice. The hidden girl got scared and went to hug the freckled guy. Anya, no. She clung to his legs, and he smiled at the girl. I want sweets. She made the most adorable face possible to convince him. Anya. Quirk, mind reading, the girl can hear every thought around her. If she hears too many, she faints, and it might cause a cerebral hemorrhage. Izuku, all right, all right. He lifted the girl and caressed her cheek. Don't hide again. How will we eat sweets if you do? Anya, sorry. The freckled guy approached her to tickle the girl. It's tickle war time, he declared with joy, and the girl went for her plushie, straight into the war. And that's what the video was about, Izuku and the girl playing almost the whole day. Later, he had to eat and do his chores. He didn't like doing it, but his dad said it was important, so she would give her all to accomplish it. Izuku, good night, Anya. He smiled at the girl, who just yawned before sleeping. End of the video. Kirishima, Anya is so cute, he said, touched by the girl. Shoto, your San and Mitsuri-san spoil him too much, he said while eating a chip. Kyoka, for an unfaithful person, he's a good father. She uttered with hatred, and her friends looked at her strangely. Katsuki, the nerd unfaithful? PFFF ha 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 ha. He looked at the serious face of the purple-haired girl and understood that she was serious. Oh, you're serious? Then let me laugh even louder ha ha ha. Kyoka, it's not funny. Shoto, it's unbelievable that the guy who would be willing to launch himself into the sun to make his loved one cry is unfaithful. He responded sincerely, causing confusion among his peers. What happened? Momo, it's just that. She wasn't sure if the three knew about what the freckled guy was doing. Kyoka, in one of the videos, he appears very close to another girl who isn't senpai. She crossed her arms, angry. She didn't like anything about those who were unfaithful. Kirishima, who was she? Mina, she had two colored hair and an analytical look, she said plainly, causing a shiver in Katsuki and Kirishima. Do you know her? Shoto, kinda. He swallowed hard, knowing how jealous the two-colored girl was and what she did recently just for stealing a chocolate. Katsuki, there's nothing to worry about. Izuku and she are a couple, just like with the bubblegum-haired girl. The room fell silent at the revelation from the blonde. EHHH. The reaction didn't take long to arrive, it was time to show video number 69. Everyone sat down and watched as the three searched for that video. The revelation caused some confusion. Could Midoriya have more than one girlfriend? Kirishima, here it is. It took about 5 minutes to find it. Midoriya had uploaded too many videos, making it difficult to locate. All Might, what are we going to watch? The blonde hero was quite confused about what his student was up to. He barely understood anything about him. Katsuki, the legendary file number 69, Minata's restrained laughter echoed. Shut up and watch, no questions until the end, got it? The class nodded, not wanting to face an explosion. Shoto, all right, he clicked, and the video started. In the video, Izuku was sitting in Neihire's apartment, a gift from Ryukyu for taking the step towards independence. It's the place where he meets his boyfriend and friends. Izuku, sorry, what did you say? He couldn't believe what had just come out of his girlfriend's mouth, and it was even weirder that none of the others complained. Kinda, in short, we made you a harem. The two-tone girl smiled at her freckled boyfriend's bewildered look. Izuku, which one of you came up with this idea? He accused a redhead and a black-haired girl who just looked at each other. Rias Gremory. Quirk, Princess of Destruction, has the ability to destroy everything her crimson power touches, turning it into dust immediately. Rias, it wasn't my idea if you're asking, Izuku-kun. She responded with a smile to the green-haired boy. Izuku, then I guess it was your idea, Akeno-chan. At this, the black-haired girl just smiled sweetly. Akeno Himejima. Quirk, Empress of Lightning, can summon lightning at will and also has the ability to float through electricity. Akeno, Ara, you flatter me, Izu-kun, but I'm afraid you're mistaken. Now the freckled boy was truly lost. Izuku, if it wasn't the two perverts, then, he analyzed the others for an answer and then looked at Nehire with an annoyed pout. Nehire-chan? Nehire, yes, that's my name. She said with an adorable pout. It was my idea, Zuzu. Izuku, huh? It was surprising that his girlfriend came up with this crazy idea. Why? Nehire, you always care for everyone and give your all to put a smile on our faces. She approached her boyfriend and sat on his lap. Besides, it's not unnoticed that you look at us with love. Izuku, and you don't mind me seeing them like this? He asked nervously. This was unprecedented. Nehire, it would bother me if you had tried something behind my back, but I know you wouldn't do that. She smiled at the freckled boy, who blushed at how his girlfriend was acting. I know you well enough to know how much you care about all of us. Izuku, I don't know what to say. He looked at the present girls and smiled at them. I guess you've already talked about this and agreed to do it. Kinda, doubting is offensive, Izuku. Izuku, and I guess you already have a plan for the others. He said to his girlfriend, who smiled. Who? Nehire, let me think. She looked at the present girls who nodded. Kinda, Rias, Akeno, Yor-san, Nezuko-chan, Ryuko-san, Power, Mitsuri-san, Rumi-chan, Ankoku, Itsuki, and Miku hasn't decided yet. The freckled boy blinked twice before fainting. Rias, is he okay? She took the freckled boy's head and placed it on her thighs, gently stroking his hair. Akeno, thank goodness we didn't tell him about the others. She smiled at the blue-haired girl, who just smiled back. I'll ask again, Nehire-chan, you don't mind if Izu-kun has a harem? Nehire, not at all, because I know that the girls who love him with all their hearts, he will love them the same way. That's the kind of person Zuzu is. Kinda, and don't forget that he read the harem novels that Kitagawa had hidden, and the light bulb lit up for him. The blue-haired girl blushed but didn't deny anything. Nehire, anyway, he also saw you all when Zuzu told you he was my boyfriend. His fake smile was evident, he didn't want anyone to suffer because he was happy. She smiled at the girls who were surprised. We can all be happy with the person we love. Rias, you certainly have a kind heart, Nehire-chan. End of the video. Katsuki, well, he turned to look at his classmates who were stunned. Any questions? Mineta, Midoriya has, he still couldn't wrap his head around the fact that Broccoli had what he desired the most. Kaminari, a harem, his soul momentarily left his body, the damn guy had what he dreamed of. Damn. Mina, save that for when you're alone, she hurried to approach Katsuki with a smile. Is there still room for more? Oh Chaco, Mina, blushing, she shouted. She didn't expect Senpai to be capable of doing that to her friend. Mina, oh, come on, you heard Senpai, we can all be happy with the man we love. She smiled at her friend, who was surprised. Momo, does that mean, there was no need to say that the black-haired girl was also surprised by what she saw? Mina, yep, I like Midori-kun. She admitted proudly. Oh Chaco, since when? Mina, for a year now, after a job. Hee hee. She smiled joyfully, remembering how the freckled boy was with her. He let her be, and in the face of her jokes, he returned the favor in the same way. A friendship that evolved into love. Momo, but sharing someone you love, she was hesitant. It's not that she dislikes the idea of being with the freckled boy, but she's not entirely comfortable with being in a harem. Kyoka, I guess it's okay, everyone looked at her strangely. She wasn't really against it? What? If Mina wants to be with Izuku, let her, it's her life after all. Mina, Kyoka-chan, you understand, she threw herself to hug the purple-haired girl, who just tried to push her away. Kaminari, Izuku, huh? He spoke with a touch of jealousy, causing tension in the air. Kyoka, can I call my friend that? She spoke with disdain. Kaminari, since when are you friends? His touch of jealousy only increased. Aizawa, enough. He spoke as the teacher who remained firm. Leave their affairs for later. Kyoka, sorry, sensei. The purple-haired girl remained silent, there was nothing more to say. Katsuki, talk to the mutant broccoli, I don't care. He dropped his hand, clicking on another video. Huh? Shoto, idiot. He said seriously, causing irritation in the blonde. In the video. It was a rainy day, so they couldn't go out on adventures. Senku took advantage of this and used them as guinea pigs or assistants, slaves, for his projects. It was impressive how he had advanced in his inventions, such as the amplification helmet or the sky armor. Senku, for the umpteenth time, I'm not going to resurrect a dinosaur yet. Asta had been chasing him for 2 hours to resurrect something. Asta, please, it'll only be one. He made the best face he could, not convincing the onion head. Senku, I already said no. He declared forcefully and looked at something on Asta's shoulder. Do you have a slug on your shoulder? Asta, huh? He looked at the slug on his shoulder, smiling. Hello, little one. Senku, give it to me. He took the slug and looked at the elevator that wasn't working today, leaving only a fall into the void. Izuku. Senku, give it to me. He took the slug and looked at the elevator that wasn't working today, leaving only a fall into the void. Izuku. Izuku, what? His voice echoed from the depths of the laboratory. Senku, a slug escaped, I'm going to throw it. He announced and heard laughter from the other side. Izuku, you don't even have the strength for that, idiot. Let someone else do it. With a sound of annoyance, the crazy scientist handed the slug to Asta. Senku, do it already. He said annoyed. Asta, will nothing happen to it? He looked at the deep dark hole, it didn't look good. Senku, we won't know until we try. He smiled like a madman at the dwarf, who looked doubtful. Relax, musclehead, these things have a tough shell, it'll survive. Asta, if you say so. He threw the slug as if it were a baseball. As the slug gained more and more speed, it seemed to change shape until it transformed completely. With more and more speed, it fell, surprising Senku and Asta, who couldn't believe what was happening. Both watched as the slug advanced faster and faster until it anchored itself to Izuku's feet. With more and more speed, it fell, surprising Senku and Asta, who couldn't believe what was happening. Both watched as the slug advanced faster and faster until it anchored itself to Izuku's feet. Izuku, what the heck? He could barely say anything when the slug's tail became smaller, consumed like a fuse. Oh no. The explosion sounded upstairs, frightening Asta, who only looked with concern at the hole. If Izuku didn't show signs of life, it was clear that neither the scientist nor the dwarf would survive. Senku, broccoli, are you alive? He nervously asked, receiving no response. Who do you think will hit us softer when they find out? Asta, we're dead. The dwarf was already thinking about his will when a green light surpassed both, landing nearby. Izuku, incredible, they explode. He said, ignoring the fact that he was emitting smoke. Senku, yes. He looked at the slug, now in its small form, smiling at Senku. These things are interesting. With a crazy smile, he approached to see what these slugs were capable of. End of the video. Ida, what was that? The class president couldn't believe what he was seeing. Shoto, after reaching a certain speed, those things change shape and do interesting things. He wouldn't reveal anything more, it would be fun to see their reactions when they saw the whole catalog. Sero, friend, that was amazing. The black-haired guy looked excited as everything happened. Oh Chako, nothing happened to Midoriya-kun, right? Kirishima, impossible, worse things have exploded, and he's still alive. He said with respect, not everyone could say they had survived the things the freckled boy had. All Might, Bakugo Shonen. The blonde American approached the three who already thought about what he wanted. Can I? Katsuki, I guess. He stepped back a bit, hoping it was good and not some stupid thing he had recorded. All Might stood in front of the monitor, trying to decide which video to watch next. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as everyone wanted to learn more about their companion. All Might, The American couldn't choose between two videos, testing the patience of some. Is it this one or this one? Aizawa, alright, I'm tired of this. He pushed All Might aside and chose the first one, file number 320. In the video. This time, it featured a 10-year-old Izuku with his mother outside a martial arts dojo. The little meteor, Izuku, had pleaded with his mother for months to go to this dojo, even attempting to bribe her with sweets, so adorable. Inko, sweetie, you shouldn't have brought the camera. What if something happens? She asked, concerned for her son's well-being. Izuku, I want to record everything. Besides, Senku assured me that it can withstand strong blows. As good friends, the scientist always let him use his inventions to see how they reacted in various situations. Inko, if you say so. She kissed both of his cheeks, causing a giggle from her son. Good luck on your first day, dear. Behave and do everything they say, okay? Izuku, yes, Mom. With a smile, he entered, followed by Senku's helicopter camera. Upon entering the dojo, the little one's eyes lit up because there were people of all ages. He was excited to learn martial arts, so he approached his assigned teacher, a man in a wheelchair with pronounced eyebrows. According to his mom, he was once a hero but nearly lost his life using an extreme technique. The teacher started with a test to ignite the flames of youth in young Izuku. With joy, he did his best, pushing himself to the limit to show his potential. The final test was to defeat someone his own age, a girl who also showed promise with orange hair and a slightly arrogant attitude, Itsuka Kendo. Adult, alright, this will be just a test match. Give it your all. No using quirks, it's a hand-to-hand combat. Ready? Izuku, yes. He said seriously. He had observed the girl practicing punches, and from what he had seen, she was close to his level. Kendo, it'll be easy. A little broccoli like him won't even land a punch. Izuku, big words for a tiny carrot. He replied mockingly, causing the carrot-haired girl to pout in anger. Adult, begin. The adult said, and instantly, Kendo attacked Izuku, who responded with a kick to the face, stopping Kendo. Izuku, are you okay? He looked at the girl, who only stared at the ground. Kendo. She looked at the freckled boy seriously before a tear rolled down her cheek. Boo-hoo. She started crying, causing confusion for Izuku. Izuku, huh? The one overseeing the supposed fight stopped it and approached the crying girl, taking the little sobbing one away. After that, Izuku spent the day doing what he was told, training without pushing his body too hard for now. Of course, he ended up exhausted, and throughout the training, he felt the angry gaze of the carrot girl. Izuku, what do you want? He asked, a bit annoyed by Kendo's glare. Kendo, you hit me hard. She rubbed the bandage on her nose, feeling indignant. Izuku, it was a fighting match. What did you expect? The carrot girl just pouted in response to logic. Kendo, I've decided. You'll be my rival. She declared with determination, finally a wall to overcome, and she would do it. Izuku, if you say so. He didn't pay much attention and continued waiting for his mom. End of the video. Momo, Kendo-san and Izuku, now she understood why her friend and her romantic interest had that competitive atmosphere whenever they saw each other. Mineta, alright, my turn. He sneaked between his classmates and found something about the harem, striking gold, file number 431, with a picture of Mirko. Things were getting heated. In the video. A lucky day for Izuku. Today he could finally go out with Rumi without worrying about anything because they were on the other side of the world, in England, as there was something to celebrate there, and Rumi didn't want to miss it. Rumi, come on, Izuku, hurry up. The bunny dragged the freckled boy towards an abandoned warehouse because, yes, today there were street fights, and Rumi loved it. Anything goes. Izuku, I'm right beside you, Rumi. The freckled boy followed the white-haired girl into the place. This will be exciting. The fights were selected from people in the audience, so almost everyone in the place were incredible fighters or people with too much repressed anger, choosing to release it on strangers instead of their loved ones or corrupt bosses. That's why this became somewhat famous, and even some heroes and police participated unofficially. With Rumi more than ready, they both watched as the fights unfolded. Some were amusing due to the powers or weapons they used, some were quite unfair, and others were a true display of pure strength. The excitement was so much that Rumi jumped into the ring to fight with a guy twice her size. Of course, there were taunts about it. How could a woman with such a seemingly useless quirk defeat someone who could harden their skin? It was clear who was going to win. Guy, come here, little bunny, I've got a big juicy carrot for you. He said mockingly, causing anger in the bunny. After dealing with you, we'll have a great time, ha ha ha. Rumi, idiot. The fight started after that, and the guy slowly approached Rumi without using his quirk. It wasn't necessary for a stupid bunny. Bad idea. In less than 2 seconds, he couldn't feel his groin. A powerful kick aimed with precision, followed by the bunny propelling herself to the ceiling and jumping down, almost breaking the rotten roof. She finished off her opponent, almost tearing his head off. Then, in front of everyone, she kissed Izuku. End of the video. Mineta, damn Midoriya, even with Mirko, he pulled his hairballs in frustration. Ida, where were they supposed to be? It seemed quite irresponsible to engage in street fights, not something a hero should do. Aizawa, Jacob Frey's street fighting tournament, what memories, he won't admit it out loud, but he was the king of the place at one point of course, almost no one could challenge him without his quirk until Emi arrived, and everything changed. Tokoyami, sensei fought there? The teacher didn't say anything, so the bird assumed he did. All Might, it's quite irresponsible, and it should be shut down. He spoke indignantly, something like this would eventually bring death, so it shouldn't be allowed. Kirishima, it's actually well regulated, and attacks that can kill are not allowed, only attacks to knock out. Otherwise, you end up in prison. He declared, surprising everyone. Toru, Kirishima-kun, have you participated? She spoke with surprise, it was incredible that her romantic interest fought so unfairly. Kirishima, sometimes, he remembered with pain how Asta's father dragged them there, and they had to fight to win bets that were made. Of course, when Mr. Yami's almost lost his legs, Mrs. Charlotte didn't like it. Ida, do you realize how irresponsible that was? The president shouted, quite upset with his classmates. You're aspiring heroes, you have to act like it. Katsuki, shut up, Chinese Robocop, he yelled, confronting the bespectacled one who maintained his gaze. Mina, hey, guys, with fear, she pointed upwards. What is that? Aizawa, be alert, his bandages rose, this was very different from Shirakumo's portals. Aizawa, be alert, his bandages rose, this was very different from Shirakumo's portals. Katsuki, everyone, relax, it's a friend. The blonde assured just as someone fell. Katsuki, everyone, relax, it's a friend. The blonde assured just as someone fell. Eri, wah, the girl fell right onto Momo, who didn't hesitate to catch her. Ouch. Ochako, Eri-chan? Now she was completely baffled. Eri, Miss Aravati, she said joyfully, realizing where she was. It worked. Katsuki, brat, what the hell? He had seen those portals before, but whoever created them didn't know how to use them. Eri, Hoopa brought me, she said, smiling, and the three of them were just surprised. Kirishima, Hoopa brought you without causing a ruckus? The girl nodded, and the redhead almost lost his breath. Shoto, so Senku was right. How unusual. He said, knowing how mischievous that little devil could be. Why are you here, Eri? Eri, Dad isn't here, and Mom Nahir had to attend to things and mentioned something about Dad, so she left me with Hoopa. She said innocently, unaware of the chaos she caused. Kirishima, I'll tell him, he hurried to say, it was always entertaining to see how Izuku scolded his girlfriends for something trivial. Katsuki, you won this time, shitty hair, he looked suspiciously at the redhead, who just stepped aside to make a call. Momo, sorry for the interruption, but Eri-chan, the girl looked at her with a smile, who is Hoopa? Eri, Hoopa is Hoopa, and he's my friend. She said proudly. Mina, guys, who is Hoopa? She asked them directly, and they just sighed tiredly. Shoto, in short, a creature that causes trouble. Eri, Hoopa doesn't cause trouble, she defended her friend with an adorable pout. Aizawa, whoever or whatever Hoopa is, we won't find out today. It's time to sleep. Sounds of protest sounded, causing the raven-haired man to glare at them. Ochako, who will Eri-chan stay with? The girl just took Momo's hands and put them on her head to be pampered. Momo, let her decide, she said while stroking the girl's white hair. Who do you want to stay with, little one? Eri, with everyone, she said cheerfully, and Mina snatched her from Momo's arms, lifting her over her head. Mina, slumber party, with joy, the girls left, marking the end of the day. The night came with an impromptu sleepover in Uraka's room. Eri loved its simplicity, as well as the warmth and fluffiness of the Kirby and mochi-shaped pillows. Throughout the night, the girls played with Eri. After midnight, the little girl fell asleep with traces of mochi on her face, leaving everyone equally exhausted. The next day arrived with the hope of learning more about their friend. Luckily, it was the weekend, so they just had to go to Aizawa-sensei to ask for the USB, go to the room, and they would be set. Kendo, Yamomo? The Class B president approached the teachers' dorms when she saw her friend and UA rival. Momo, Kendo-san, she said, trying to hold back laughter after what she saw yesterday, good morning. Kendo, good morning, she smiled at the raven-haired girl, and both advanced in a pleasant silence. By the way, can I ask something? Momo, of course, she replied calmly, The laughter from seeing little Kendo finally subsided. Kendo, do you know where Izuku-san is? She asked, quite distressed. Her freckled boyfriend said nothing, just vanished into thin air. Momo, Izuku is outside the academy for a while, she said calmly, noticing the redhead furrowing her brow. Is something wrong? Kendo, nothing to worry about, she forced a smile. If what she thought was true, Izuku did something stupid to protect them. Again. Momo, if you say so, she didn't believe her, but she wasn't one to judge. Both arrived at the teachers' dorms, noticing how they were getting ready for their day off, everyone except Aizawa, who was checking everyone's grades. Not that he wanted to go anywhere. Aizawa, Yaoyorozu? He looked at the raven-haired girl, who just gave him puppy eyes, eliciting a sigh from the dark-haired teacher. Fine. Momo, thank you, sensei. With a smile on her face, she received the coveted USB under Kendo's astonished gaze. She knew that look. Kendo, yeah Momo. The redhead looked at her curiously. Whose is it? Momo, oh. It's Izuku-san's, he allowed us to see its contents. She smiled teasingly at the Class B president. You were quite arrogant as a kid, Kendo-san. The president blushed with embarrassment. Kendo, did you see that? The redhead nodded, causing her blush to increase. How embarrassing. Momo, oh, calm down. It was very cute to see you and Izuku-san as kids. Her embarrassment only increased. Do you have something to do, Kendo-san? Kendo, not really. Today was not a day for anything except rejecting Monoma's attempts to ask her out. The idiot didn't understand that she already had someone. Momo, do you want to come and join us for a while? The orange-haired girl didn't even think before nodding. Remembering good times with Izuku and watching his adventures was always entertaining. Both chatted amiably along the way, sharing ideas to improve as heroines. They wouldn't be distracted by anything on their way to becoming heroes capable of saving as many as possible. When they arrived, everyone was ready to watch, and Eri was dressed in new clothes found in the freckled one's room, just in case the girl wanted to stay. Eri, mommy, the girl ran and jumped into the arms of the orange-haired girl, who didn't hesitate to catch and cradle her. Kendo, Eri-chan, the redhead completely forgot where she was and devoted herself to pampering her little one. How are you here? Have you eaten? Eri, Hoopa brought me, Mom. The Class B big sister felt panic at hearing that. The last time that little troublemaker used his power, Izuku and Senku ended up somewhere in India. Momo, Mom? She finally reconnected and knew where she was. Curious and jealous looks came, causing some nerves. Kendo, hee. She looked at the three fools for help, and Katsuki just smiled. Mina, are you part of Midori-kun's harem? In less than 2 seconds, Kendo had a very excited Mina in front of her. Can I join? Kendo, that. She finally caught a signal and processed what the alien said. That's not my decision, Mina-san. Katsuki, figure it out later, raccoon eyes, he spoke, diverting the attention away from the president of the opposing class. Everyone settled to watch whatever Katsuki had prepared since he spent the whole morning thinking about what video to put that wouldn't expose something that might lead him to foreign prisons, and he came to a conclusion, file number 279. In the video, the camera barely focused on anything as it was a high-speed chase in the skies. Something bad was happening, evident in Izuku's expression and the speed he was going. Asta, how long do you think it'll take before they catch up? Both the short guy, the mad scientist, and Tanjiro were chasing their friend in a very useful jet that Senku came up with after watching old hero series where they save the planet. One of them even featured a Nordic god. Senku, considering he's approaching the sound barrier, he thought for a few seconds before coming up with a number, 15.4 seconds, and that's giving him the benefit of the doubt. Tanjiro, I think less, he said with a smile, considering they have both Anya-chan and Eri-chan, Izuku won't stop until he saves them. The others were surprised, and Kendo lowered her gaze. She was there when they took the girls, and there were so many agents that she couldn't do anything. Yes, moments earlier, several agents stormed Izuku's house and took the girls, knocking out the girls who were there. Then they left in a supersonic jet that the freckled one almost caught. Tanjiro, is there any way to catch up with it? Senku's mad scientist look hinted that he had something up his sleeve. Senku, I didn't expect to try it so soon, but, he pulled a lever, revealing a big red button. I suggest you sit down and fasten your seatbelt. This is going to hurt. Both passengers did as the walking onion suggested, and he pressed the button. Instantly, the jet accelerated even more, bringing them close to the other plane, which had a hole in one of its sides. Senku didn't hesitate to send a camera drone to see what was happening, and what a scene. Government agent bodies on the ground, some with their arms or legs twisted in the wrong direction, all knocked out by an angry Izuku, who was near where they had both girls. He didn't hesitate to smash the door with one blow, and to everyone's surprise, Anya was defending Eri from a perverted man who looked at them very wrong. Eri was holding something that Izuku couldn't quite see, and for now, he didn't care. "Come, girls, we're just going to play an innocent game," the idiot said in a very sweet tone. Of course, Anya knew perfectly well why they wanted her, and she kept him away as best she could by throwing sweets in his eyes. Spoiled brat. He was about to hit the girl when he was stopped by a hand. "Huh? Izuku, hello," he smiled innocently before hitting him so hard that he went through the wall into a warehouse. "Are you okay, little ones?" "Anya, Papa Izuku," the girl clung to his leg, crying, "I was scared." "Izuku, it's okay, little ones, it's okay." He lifted Anya and put her on his shoulders. "Eri-chan." "Eri, Daddy," the girl looked worse than Anya and just clung to something in her arms. "Izuku, what's there, sweetheart?" The girl just moved, revealing something that the freckled one had never seen before. "Eri, it's hurt," she said, crying, "please do something." "Izuku, come here, little one." He opened his arms, and Eri didn't take long to get there, so he cradled her. "Don't let go, dear, hold on tight." The freckled one with the two girls went to the improvised exit that Izuku made, and to everyone's surprise, Tanjiro was there with a sword in hand and Asta ready to go. "Tanjiro, nothing happened to them?" Izuku just walked past the jet. "Izuku, we have someone to heal, so let's go." The two boarded the jet, leaving the other plane adrift. End of the video. Momo, is Eri-chan okay? Everyone watched as the girl was sleeping in Kendo's arms, using a chest as a pillow. Kendo, yes, she stroked the girl's hair, and the girl shifted to sleep better, just scrapes and a cut on the cheek. Mina, but who took them? Shoto, enemies from a country at war who found out that Izuku had contacts with an enemy spy. They wanted to use the girls for extortion. The surprise didn't take long to arrive, and Momo watched as her Class B friend just hugged Eri tightly. Shoji, is it true? They looked at the three who didn't say anything. Katsuki, we can't say anything. Everything is classified and dangerous. He responded seriously. Kaminari, can we put on one to lighten the mood? The blonde just stepped aside, giving the blonde free rein to quickly search for anything interesting. File, number 501. In the video. A steep ascent on a snowy mountain, 3 people climbing, 2 of them unrecognizable due to the amount of cold weather clothing they were wearing. The other was Izuku, in a short-sleeved shirt and pants with snow boots. Compared to the cold of space, this was nothing. "Izuku, we're almost there, Kachan," he said to the person next to him, dressed in a red suit. "Katsuki, why did I let myself be convinced to do this?" he shouted in his place, to which the one next to him hit him on the head. "Tanjiro, we can't make noise," he shouted in a whisper, well aware of what shouting in such mountains could cause. "Katsuki, no one tells me to shut up, idiot," he shouted at Tanjiro when he received another blow to the head. "Izuku, Tanjiro is right, don't shout, or you'll cause an avalanche." He spoke calmly, as if it wasn't 0 degrees, and he was barely wearing anything. "Katsuki, fine." Defeated, he said, not wanting to be clearing snow from uncomfortable places after this. "Tanjiro, by the way, why are we climbing the tallest mountain on the planet?" he asked the freckled one, who just smiled. "Izuku, since Kendo-chan and Itsuki-chan have forbidden me from taking Eri-chan and Anya to space and its vicinity, I want a photo at the very top." He smiled at both of them, who just sighed. Of course, it would be just for them. Also, Senku is pretty sure there's something at the summit, and I want to know what it is. They continued climbing until they were at the very top. The view was incredible, and once again, Senku's inventions worked wonders. Those suits with oxygen masks included allowed them to endure until they literally saw the sky of space adorned with a blue circle, simply sublime. Then Tanjiro had to step wrong and make the 3 fall into an ice cave with different branches leading to more branches. They got lost searching for an exit until they found something better. Tanjiro, that's, in front of them was a giant asleep. The surprise was maximum. Katsuki, yeah. I'm surprised it's here. Izuku, a Regice, the 3rd of 5. Izuku, a Regice, the 3rd of 5. It was incredible, ancient extreme freezing technology stuck in the depths of the mountain, the last of its kind. End of the video. The atmosphere became tense, not because of the discovery but because of one of those who made the discovery. Kendo radiated bloodlust, demanding both of Izuku's heads. The irresponsibility of that talking broccoli far exceeded her limit. Momo, Kendo-san? She asked, a little nervous about what her friend was doing. Kirishima, he'll be dead when he gets back, right? He asked in a whisper to Shoto, who just nodded. After calming down Kendo's anger over broccoli, they decided to take turns choosing videos. Katsuki was tired of being the one to choose most of the time, so he let everyone else pick videos. They had their own order, starting with the class president. Uraka, not to seem impatient, Ida-kun, but can you hurry up? It's been almost an hour, and the human robot can't find anything he likes. Ida, I apologize, there's nothing that interests me, he said, adjusting his glasses. Iri? She saw an image of Onkoku in one of them and didn't hesitate to press the button. File number 499. In the video. Unexpectedly, the video started with Izuku in front of the Shiketsu Academy. Today, the portal girl had asked him to meet because she had a slight feeling they were being stalked, and given who she thought it was, she needed her boyfriend. Izuku, Onkoku. The freckled boy stopped in front of the two-tone girl who smiled. Onkoku, Izuku. Before the freckled boy could say anything, she approached to steal a kiss, surprising the not-so-well-hidden stalker. Let's go. Izuku, what are you planning? He spoke as he was dragged to a nearby cafe near UA's rival academy. Onkoku, we're just going on a date. I enjoy your company, Izuku. The smiling freckled boy stopped being dragged and walked beside the black-haired girl. Izuku, all right, you lead the way. With a smile, things began under the watchful eyes of one of Onkoku's acquaintances. They spent almost the entire morning going from one place to another, arcades, cafes, a shopping center, and finally, a park where they hid among the trees, waiting for the stalker who followed them with bloodlust. Believing they were doing something inappropriate, he didn't hesitate to enter, and to his surprise, he fell into one of Onkoku's portals, landing in a trap in a nearby tree. Onkoku, I didn't expect it to be you, Shishikura-senpai. In front of the two-tone girl was her senpai with a flesh-controlling quirk, glaring at the freckled boy who was just eating ice cream. Seiji, what are you doing with someone so inferior and explosive like him, Mayai? He asked with obvious hatred. Izuku, explosive? He looked at the bound person who just growled. Can I send him flying? He asked his girlfriend, who just sighed. Onkoku, not yet. She approached threateningly to her former senpai. My life is not something you control, so I don't have to answer. With a snap, a portal appeared beneath him, leading to a distant rooftop somewhere in China. Would you do the honors? Izuku, of course. He broke the branch he was hanging from and fell through the portal. And now, what do you want? He looked at his girlfriend's smile and just nervously laughed. My place or yours? Onkoku, yours. With an innocent smile, she opened a portal behind the freckled boy and pushed him through before entering herself. End of the video. Kirishima, that explains a lot. He spoke with a laugh, now understanding why that guy always bothered them when they encountered him. Kaminari, even from Shiketsu. Now he didn't know whether to feel respect for being in a relationship with someone from a school that didn't accept relationships or hatred for everything he saw. Shoto, whatever, Tokoyami, now it's your turn. The bird rose from his seat and went to look at the videos, whispering to Dark Shadow. Among them all, one caught their attention, file number 27B. The class looked curiously at the file. In the video was in the depths of Senku's laboratory, where he stood in front of a bed with a sleeping 2B connected to various machines. Izuku, do we have something? The freckled boy appeared from a sliding door with clear panic. Senku, something. He looked at a tablet containing what little they knew about her. Android 2B, 80% machine, 20% human. They used a human with biomechanical enhancements to create her. From the few recovered files, we know she has the DNA of a woman, but it doesn't say who. Also, it's so diluted that I can't search any database. Izuku, how is she? He asked, approaching the girl who didn't move an inch. Senku, quite well, but there's one thing. With a single click, he showed the android's memory status. Her memory bank was wiped 93%. I doubt she can articulate words or remember anything. Izuku, right leg in critical condition, arms offline, and eyes. This surprised him as he examined that area closely. Senku, yes, the idiots didn't know how to handle her with so much power injected into her, which caused her eyes to be positioned strangely. It explains the bandage. He continued monitoring the android under Izuku's gaze. Izuku, she manipulates mental waves to move the sword and sends codes to her robot companion. He read and looked at the strange, deactivated robot. Do you think it can contain something? Senku, it's possible, but its programming is also damaged. Repairing it will take time. He continued trying to fix the internal damage. Izuku, I'll help. The freckled boy approached the android's hand, and it instantly took his hand. Senku, very well. With a few commands, he relaxed the hand. That shouldn't happen. Izuku, why did that happen? He held the hand, which felt very soft even with a glove. Senku, a predetermined reaction. He looked at the machine monitoring brain activity. Something was different. Or maybe something else. He hurried to find out the reason for the change, and what he saw surprised him. Izuku, is something wrong? The scientist moved around, completely serious, typing frantically. Something wasn't right. Senku, damn bastards. He clicked his tongue. This changed everything. I've discovered something. Izuku, what? Senku's serious expression made him tense. Senku, did you know that one of the main leaders of that organization was a Yakuza you captured? The freckled boy was astonished and looked at him with fear. Mimic. Izuku, did he do this? He approached 2B, who only moved her hand slightly. Senku, she has various commands and vague memories that were implanted in her. And there's something you must hear. With a couple of clicks, something started playing. 2B, Izu. Don't blame yourself. The young girl's broken voice sounded fragmented and weak. You. Izuku, it's. He felt a void in his stomach, and he couldn't breathe. That damn bastard. Without saying anything, he left the place. He didn't want to know more for the moment. End of the video. Uraka, what happened to Midoriya-kun? The brunette, like everyone unfamiliar with 2B, found it curious what happened. Kendo, 2B has something very personal of Izuku. She still remembered with sadness what happened afterward. The green-haired boy changed radically after that revelation, almost not returning to being the same. Momo, is he okay? She asked with concern. Kendo, he's fine now, she sighed, letting the bad taste go away. Can I choose one? The blonde nodded, and the orange-haired girl approached to play her favorite video, file number 666. Katsuki and Shoto remained static, unlike Kirishima, who fell like a log onto Toru's soft thighs. In the video, Senku, Asta, Izuku, and Kirishima were in some desert in the world in front of a highly secret military base. Senku, okay, this is the plan. He took out a projector, and a hologram of the facilities appeared. Izuku and Kirishima go in from the front, while Muscle Brain and I sneak in from behind without anyone noticing. Izuku, understood. He emerged ready, followed by Kirishima, who activated both quirks. Kirishima, is it really worth bringing a bunch of miniature beings out of the most protected base on Earth just because Nehire-senpai found one and wants to help them? The freckled boy only nodded, charging ahead followed by the redhead. Shortly after, Izuku and Kirishima were inside the super-secret base, making their way to the facilities where those strange beings were kept. They passed through many parts until they reached the section where the creatures were. Kirishima, but what? He looked astonished at the various strange species there. Izu bro. Look. Izuku, Bahiyam. He read next to the tank where one of them was. Kirishima, there's another one here. He pointed to another tank farther back. Izuku, El Gem. Without hesitation, he released both, and they continued through the corridors until they glimpsed Asta and Senku in front of a tank with what looked like a plush surrounded by smaller similar ones. We found them. Senku, beings that transcend space and time, unaware of who or what they are, lost in nothingness, found in everything from an unknown world with unknown power. He read the only file they had on this. Izuku, one of them escaped and went for help. He looked at that tank and didn't hesitate. It's time to wake up. With a punch, he released that being. End of the video. Kendo, so that's where they came from. With surprise, she said those beings were curious and interesting. Momo, but what are they supposed to be, and where do they come from? She looked at her friends, who were lost in thought. Kendo, according to what Izuku said, they are beings that just have fun doing whatever they want whenever they want. As for where they come from, it's unknown. She scratched her cheek, a little embarrassed for not providing a concrete answer. There's speculation about another world, but without evidence, it's just an idea. Eerie, Mom. The girl approached the orange-haired girl with puppy eyes. I'm hungry. After going to eat and restoring their energy, overcoming impressions, and preventing Mineta from stealing the last apple, Everyone turned their attention back to their teammates' secrets, this time without Katsuki or Shoto as they had important things to do and couldn't postpone it. It was too crucial. Tsuyu, I guess it's my turn. Karo, the frog approached and played a video that caught her attention at first glance, file number 190. In the video, once again in the vast grounds of the Gremory mansion, this time Izuku, Rias, Akeno, and a chestnut-haired guy were in the courtyard. Rias's friend wanted to ask a big favor from the freckled guy, who simply ignored him because he was eating cookies from a certain albino who seemed like a cat. Akeno, are you really not planning to listen, Izu-kun? The raven-haired girl, who brought the cookies, looked a bit amazed at her boyfriend. Izuku, I don't know what you're talking about? He ignored the chestnut-haired guy, who was almost kissing his feet to get his attention. Issei, please, Midoriya, you're the only one who can help me, he said desperately, not wanting his plan to fail. Issei. Quirk, Dragon Boost, can infinitely enhance power and transfer energy to allies. Izuku, fine, what do you need? He spoke, already tired of the chestnut-haired guy. Issei, thank you, Midoriya, he exclaimed with tears of happiness, I need advice for dating someone. Izuku, huh? He blinked several times, not believing what he heard. I think I didn't hear correctly. Did you say dating someone? Issei, yes, and I don't want it to go wrong because of who I am, so please help. He knelt in front of the green-haired guy who still couldn't believe it. Izuku, well, who are you going to date? He looked for any hint of a lie, but no, everything was pure truth. Issei, Sona asked me out, he admitted with a blush, finally managing to reach the icy heart of the great Sona Sidri. Izuku, huh? He looked at his redhead girlfriend, who nodded with a chuckle, all right. Issei, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true, and I really want things to go well between us, he spoke seriously. Izuku, okay, he stood up and extended a hand to the chestnut-haired guy, let's go, there's much to do if you want to surprise her. In front of Issei was a celestial and noble being who just wanted to help him, so he didn't hesitate to take the hand and go wherever the freckled guy indicated, like a faithful follower. End of the video. Kirishima, that explains why Izu bro and Issei seem more like friends, he said with surprise, not understanding why suddenly his friend and the perverted beast of Kuo were friends just like that. Mina, who is he? Kirishima he thought for a minute, not sure how to describe Issei. It's true that he was once a great pervert who even Kirishima thought surpassed Mineta, but now, he's just a good friend, a bit perverted. He smiled at the pink-haired girl. Mina, she looked seriously at the redhead, who just smiled, just that. Her friend nodded, and Mina didn't press further. For now, who's next? She asked with excitement. Tsuyu, it's your turn, Mina-chan. The pink-haired girl approached and played the first video she found. In the video, the desert was all that could be seen for miles, and of course, Izuku was flying at full speed with someone on his back, a very well-known person to all, and more than one defective Pikachu, as every time he saw her, he tried something with her. Izuku, are you sure it's this way, Yui-chan? He asked the black-haired girl on his back, who was ready for this adventure and also had the map. Yui, yes, it was a left turn in Egypt and then straight ahead. The green-haired guy nodded without looking at her and moved a bit faster. Izuku? Izuku, I recommend you get comfortable. I'll go faster. The black-haired girl nodded and leaned on the freckled guy's back, trying to hide the slight blush on her cheeks. At one point, the freckled guy sped up, reaching some point in the distant desert. Only a giant dune was visible. It was clear that this was the place they were looking for, and what they wanted was nearby. Izuku, we've arrived. He looked behind him. Yui had fallen asleep and was hugging him like a plush toy. I hope you have sweet dreams, Yui-chan, he whispered and continued his journey on foot with the very comfortable black-haired girl on his back. Okay, time to work. He looked over the dune, but there was nothing. He walked a kilometer in every direction, still finding nothing. Only one thing remained to try, but it required waking up Yui, which was not up for discussion. So, he decided to rest, waiting for the black-haired girl to wake up. Yui, The black-haired girl finally showed signs of waking up after 2 hours. She spent the entire previous day training with her freckled boyfriend and was a bit sleepy. Izuku? Izuku, hello, Yui-chan. The freckled guy was floating in the sky, playing on his phone, a good pastime while the black-haired girl woke up from her deep sleep. Did you sleep well? Yui, yes, she said, looking away to hide the blush. Have we arrived? Izuku, yes, but I don't know where it is. The freckled guy descended slowly as the black-haired girl checked the backpack she had with her. There's nothing in the surroundings of the dune. I was waiting for you to wake up to ask. Yui, Thanks, she continued searching, trying to get rid of the blush. Her boyfriend was very cute, there must be a hidden entrance in the sand. Senku gave me something to find it. She pulled out a strange device resembling a horn. Izuku, I understand. He stabilized so the black-haired girl could do her thing, and the horn activated, almost instantly showing a point to enter. Where? Yui, at the top. The freckled guy descended and left the black-haired girl at the base of the dune, then flew to the top. I want to see too. With a pout, she climbed the dune effortlessly and watched as the freckled guy pulled a kind of lever. Izuku, it's stuck. He sighed and looked in surprise at the black-haired girl who, without saying anything, touched the lever, making it giant-sized, collapsing the dune. Yui, he picked up the black-haired girl and flew just as the desert swallowed whatever was there. Yui, that was my fault, sorry, she spoke with a neutral tone, and the freckled guy burst into laughter before hugging the black-haired girl. Izuku, you just wanted to help, thanks, Yui-chan. He stole a kiss and left her on the ground just as the sand was disappearing, and look, it worked. Yui, huh? She stopped daydreaming and looked ahead, incredible. Izuku, yes. Thanks to you, we have the first of all. According to that ancient mural, he approached the sleeping giant with excitement. Yui-chan, meet Regirok, the first creation of the one who moves the continents. End of the video. Kaminari, Midoriya, you traitor, he shouted with hatred towards the freckled guy. Mineta, hey, calm down, buddy, he backed away from where he was because the blonde started generating electricity out of anger. Kaminari, calm down? How do you expect me to calm down? Midoriya stole my girl, he said angrily, and everyone saw it before Kyoka, who was drinking a smoothie. Kirishima, what do you mean, your girl? He asked confused. Yui and Izuku had been in a relationship for a year, and the blonde saying that didn't make sense to him. Kaminari, Kodai was falling for my charms, and we were getting along, he declared, convinced that he had made progress with the unexpressive girl from Class B when, in reality, she only spoke to him out of courtesy and was not interested in the blonde electric guy at all. Kirishima, I think you're misunderstanding, Kaminari. The redhead looked at him without believing anything. Kodai-san is quite polite, she probably just responded out of courtesy. Kaminari, you're lying. She's in love with me, Midoriya just took her away, he said angrily. Kyoka, or you could shut up? The purple-haired girl was starting to get a headache and was tired of the noise. Accept it, you're not as amazing as you think or as fanatical as you claim, she said, tired of the blonde. Kaminari, and yet, you fell for my charms like the slut you are, he smiled at the purple-haired girl who just wanted to hit him. It still hurt what he did, it was even fun when you saw me at the mall with someone else, he smiled at the very angry Kyoka, who was clenching her fists tightly. Sero, hey, buddy, that, before he finished, Kaminari fell unconscious from a very strong blow from the rocker, surprising everyone. Since when do you have so much strength, Jiro-san? The girl didn't say anything and just walked away from there. The atmosphere got tense after Kyoka left. The rocker went straight to a special place to relax her anger and pain. The rooftop was a good place to unwind and clear the mind. Usually, she would go there to write a song or, recently, grab a bite with Izuku to shake off negative thoughts or craziness. As she looked at the sky, she wondered where her green-haired friend was right now. Momo, Kyoka-san, her friend rushed into the place, knowing well where to find her after following her for about 2 weeks. Kyoka, ya Momo? How? Her friend's calm smile let her know what had happened. What do you want? Momo, it's something you need to see. She approached and touched her shoulder. It's something Izuku-san left in case you need it. Kyoka, huh? She looked curious and surprised. What did that broccoli head do? With that, the friends approached to go downstairs. To their surprise, the room had changed a bit in the 10 minutes Kyoka was on the rooftop. Furniture was pushed to the corners, and Kaminari was hanging from the ceiling by Sero's tapes with a big bump on his head. Kirishima's look conveyed peace, and she, not understanding anything, let her friend guide her to the others, sitting in the center. Kyoka, what am I supposed to see? She asked a bit annoyed, to which Kirishima just smiled. Kirishima, Izu bro figured that when you came back to chat with Kaminari, you'd be too angry. So, in case he's not here, he prepared this, showed file number 566, especially for you, Jiro-san. In the video. At Yue's entrance, Izuku was waiting somewhat impatiently for someone. He had recently seen Kyoka very sad, so he decided to make her smile again and become an amazing girl and hero. Today, he prepared another surprise he was sure she'd love. Kyoka, why did you summon me here, Izuku? The freckled guy had been insistent all week about something she had to be prepared for. Izuku, first of all, you look amazing, Kyoka, she blushed a bit at that, taken off guard, and second, the only reason is we're going to a concert. The purple-haired girl looked at her friend strangely, who just smiled. Izuku, first of all, you look amazing, Kyoka, she blushed a bit at that, caught off guard, and second, the only reason is we're going to a concert. The purple-haired girl looked at her friend strangely, who just smiled. Kyoka, there's no concert until next month, Izuku. Now the green-haired guy went crazy because there was no one to see live and in person. Izuku, maybe in Japan, but in Europe, on the other hand, he took out 2 tickets for Kyoka's favorite band from his jacket, and she felt her soul leave and come back. Kyoka, how the heck? She tried to take the tickets, but the freckled guy raised his hand, keeping what she wanted away. Hey! Izuku, calm down, Kyoka-san. In a wrong move, the purple-haired girl got tangled and ended up falling on the freckled guy, who held her. Are you okay? Kyoka, yeah, sure. Now her embarrassment was infinite, so she just hit her face in the green-haired guy's chest, who laughed at how his friend was. Wait, how are we going? She raised her head, seeing Izuku's innocent smile. Nothing good could come of this. Izuku, I suggest you hold on to me, Kyoka-san. We'll get there in a few minutes. He rose slightly with the purple-haired girl, who, with the sudden change beneath her feet, hugged the freckled guy tightly. Kyoka-san, look at me. Kyoka, huh? She focused on the freckled guy's calm gaze, loosening her grip slightly as the freckled guy held her in a hug. Is this safe? For a second, she looked down. Yue was barely visible. Izuku, trust me, Kyoka, just look at me, and everything will be fine. The purple-haired girl did as told, getting lost in the freckled guy's face, analyzing his features. It was then that Izuku rose a bit higher, amidst the clouds, flying at a moderate speed, letting his companion enjoy the breeze on her face. Of course, Kyoka got distracted, watching the clouds swirling beneath her feet. With more excitement, she let the journey continue, observing the changes in the sky. In a matter of minutes, they were on the other side of the continent, somewhere in Greece where the concert was. They descended gently in a nearby alley. Izuku, fun trip, right? He asked a dazed Kyoka, who wouldn't let go. Kyoka, huh? She finally reacted to the head pat, looking at Izuku's smile. Izuku, come on, we don't have much time. He took Kyoka's hand, and they went to the stadium, arriving just in time. Kyoka, wait, upon analyzing, she could only see something incredible. This is. Izuku, yes, it's VIP, so I hope you enjoy getting to know the band. Now, the purple-haired girl could die in peace after that night. The concert itself was never shown, only Kyoka singing each song with emotion. When various people stood in front, blocking the view, Izuku took her and put her on his shoulders so she could see everything with excitement. After that, a montage showed Kyoka asking the band several questions after the concert, sharing ideas and having a drink or two. In the end, it showed Izuku carrying a drunk Kyoka on his back, murmuring incomprehensible things, taking her straight to her room at UA, where he left her on her bed, giving her a forehead kiss and tucking her in. End of the video. Kyoka's face couldn't be redder than it was at that moment. Embarrassment invaded her as she looked at her clothes. She remembered that day very well, especially knowing that one of the band's most recent songs was written by her. Kaminari, she didn't even look this pretty when we were dating. He murmured, a bit annoyed. When they went out, the rocker made an effort to look good, but the blonde guy never cared. Mina, oh, look at serious Kyoka-chan with the sexy cinnamon roll. She teased a bit, and the purple-haired girl pointed her jack threateningly. Kyoka, not another word. She threatened, embarrassed about what happened. Momo, you two looked adorable, Kyoka-san. To increase the embarrassment, her best friend joined the jokes. Kyoka, stop that, she hurried to approach the monitor, choosing something to avoid more teasing. Look at something interesting. Mina, don't try to change the subject, Kyoka-chan. The pink-haired girl lunged at the purple-haired one, causing a new video to start. In the video, a very smiling Izuku entered the office of one of Japan's greatest heroines. He had recently discovered something and needed his boyfriend, the freckled guy, to investigate. Izuku, what do you need, Ryukyu-chan? He smiled at the dragon heroine at the desk, who looked a bit grumpy. Is something wrong? Ryukyu, open the freezer above and see for yourself. She said irritably because that being had finished all the ice cream she had stored. Izuku, all right, cautiously, he went to the freezer and looked at something he couldn't believe existed. Aw. Ryukyu, don't say aw to the ice cream thief, the blonde quickly went up and looked at the thief with a frown. Izuku, it's cute, no matter how much ice cream it eats, Ryuko-chan. He took the creature that seemed to melt in his hands. It's gelatinous. Ryukyu, do you know what it is? She looked over Izuku's shoulder and touched it. It was cold, but its texture was pleasant to the touch. Izuku, I think I know. He squeezed its cheeks, and the creature just moved a bit to avoid further squeezing. It's so cute. Ryukyu, do you think Eri-chan or Anya would like it? The freckled guy nodded before putting it on the dragon heroine's head. It's not fun, Izu-kun. She pouted, and the freckled guy just laughed. End of the video. Mina, aw, it's so adorable, I'm melting with cuteness. She said as she kept Kyoka close, wanting to know everything about that outing. Kaminari, I can find cute things too. At some point between both videos, he felt very jealous of his partner's freckled guy and everything he had achieved. Kirishima, oh, so Ryuko-san found it. Now he understood where that strange blob that played with Eri and Anya came from. Oh Chako, it looked like a mochi, she drooled a bit at the thought of it and its incredible taste. They talked for a while as they played another video when something strange happened. A portal, like the one that brought Eri, opened and released a strange device at Kirishima's head, followed by a note, and then it closed. Toru, try it, Rockhead, it's important to do it as soon as possible. Sincerely, Senku. The invisible girl read to the red-haired guy next to her, what is it? Kirishima, oh, the prototype. He hurried to put on that strange glove under everyone's gaze. Anyway, let's keep watching things. Mina, so, will this help you with your quirk problem? Her friend nodded with joy. It had been just a few weeks since Senku had finished the experiments with Ofa and entered the stage of testing until it exploded. Kirishima, while they figure out a way to consume a different type of energy, this will help me divert as much energy as possible to avoid killing myself, he said excitedly, then ran out of the dorms. Mina, looks like he wants to try it now. She turned to look at her invisible friend and smiled mischievously. Maybe he needs someone to accompany him, right Toru? The invisible girl shivered in her place at what her friend was saying. Toru, I guess I can go take care of him. With a touch of nervousness, she left under everyone's gaze. Mina Ashido, the best cupid in all of Japan, she declared with an arrogant smile and a little laugh. Tsuyu, I wouldn't say all of Japan, Karo. At this statement, the pink-haired girl just pouted and sat near Kyoka. They still had to talk about what happened. Can I add something? Momo, go ahead, Tsuyu-chan. The frog girl stepped forward in front of the others. Tsuyu, what is this? The miniature of file number 312 was of a dinosaur and didn't quite fit with anything. In the video. In Senku's laboratory, there was a tense moment as Izuku blocked the door to his girlfriend, who looked at him reproachfully. His freckled boyfriend had told her he had a surprise for her, and with excitement, she tried to get it ahead of time. Izuku, don't even try, Setsuna-chan. He smiled at the green-haired girl who tried to separate her eye to look without succeeding because her freckled boyfriend prevented it very quickly. Setsuna, you haven't even given me a hint, Izuku. That's not fair, she pouted when the light bulb turned on. You know, if you let me pass. Izuku, try it, and you won't get cuddles for 2 months, he said, stopping the green-haired girl's flirtation. Be patient. Setsuna, you always give the best gifts. How do you expect me to be patient? She waved her arms with a pout, and her boyfriend approached to calm her anger. Senku, ready, broccoli head, he shouted from inside, exciting Izuku, hurry, it's coming out. Izuku, I'm coming. The freckled boy entered the laboratory, closing the door behind him and taking that gift to Setsuna, which turned out to be difficult given how it moved around the laboratory. It took 2 minutes that an impatient Setsuna waited when her boyfriend came out, releasing smoke and quite battered, holding something behind his back. Setsuna, are you okay? She wanted to approach, but the freckled boy stopped her. Izuku, I'm completely fine, Setsuna-chan, don't worry about that, he assured the green-haired girl who didn't seem convinced. Now, this is your gift, he showed something that she never thought she'd see. Izuku, I'm completely fine, Setsuna-chan, don't worry about that, he assured the green-haired girl who didn't seem convinced. Now, this is your gift, he showed something that she never thought she'd see. 39. Setsuna, it's A. She approached the creature sniffing the air around it. How is this possible? Izuku, oh, it's a clone of an original one. Resurrecting is scientifically impossible, so Senku used DNA and created this. He put the dinosaur on her head and took her cheek gently. I hope you take care of it, Setsuna-chan. Setsuna, you can bet on it, Izuku, without hesitation. she put the little one on the floor to explore nearby and kissed her boyfriend. "You're the best." End of the video. Momo, now she had seen everything in life. Kota, incredible, he blurted out, embarrassed, covering his mouth. Shoji, a living dinosaur, is incredible what they achieved. Mina, I want one, she said with joy. Finally, she had managed to get Kyoka to spill everything about the broccoli, and she couldn't be more excited. Tsuyu, Midoriya-chan is very cute, Karo, she said, watching another interesting sounding video. Karo? Oh Chaco, what's going on, Sue? She approached to look with surprise. The image was of Izuku being pierced with a very sharp object, but what? In the video, Izuku didn't understand what was happening. One moment he was strolling in the park with Eri, and the next, a woman appeared out of nowhere trying to kill him. Just another Tuesday. Izuku, can I know why you're attacking me, miss? You're Midoriya, right? She said with a smile. Izuku, no, I'm Carlos Santana, he sarcastically replied, which the assassin didn't get. Oh, my sincere apologies, she said, a bit embarrassed, but now that you know too much, I have to kill you. Izuku, why am I not surprised? He sighed before skillfully dodging the black-haired woman's weapon, surprising her. Excuse me for this, he gently struck the assassin, only pushing her away. He has a very good strength. She jumped to a nearby tree, disappearing from the freckled guy's sight. Izuku, incredible, he became alert for whatever might happen when he felt something pricking his neck. Huh? Surprisingly, her weapon broke upon contact with the freckled guy's skin, who took advantage to grab her arm and slam her to the ground. Izuku, now, miss, can you explain why you tried to kill me? The freckled guy immobilized her on the ground just as Eri returned with someone following him. Eri, daddy, the little one, with a pout, grabbed Izuku's leg. This girl says candies are better than caramel apples. Tell her it's not true. Izuku, in a moment, sweetheart. I have a matter to attend to here, he stroked the infant's head, who only pouted indignantly. Anya, mom? The other girl looked at her mother being subdued by the freckled guy, causing confusion in her little head. Anya. This, nervously, she looked at the freckled guy, seeking help in her gaze. Izuku, is she your mom, little one? Anya nodded nervously. Maybe the guy in front of her didn't exude an intimidating aura, but he was still a stranger. I won't harm her, she just did something wrong, and I need to know why. Anya, she squinted her eyes, trying to see the truth. Izuku, I didn't expect this situation when I went to the park. I just wanted a moment of peace and tranquility. He looked at the black-haired woman who had a worried look in her daughter's eyes. Fine, he let the woman go, who hugged the girl tightly. End of the video. Mineta, what the heck? If he had been scared before seeing his friend in life-threatening situations, now he didn't know what to think. Ida, that was extremely irresponsible of Midoriya-kun, he shouted, quite indignant that his friend let a potential assassin go. Oh Chaco, but thinking about it, what would have happened to the girl? Midoriya-kun let her go for his daughter. Robocop fell silent, and trying to handle the situation, he approached the monitor. Ida-kun? Ida, look at this interesting thing. Without even seeing what it said, he clicked. In the video, Izuku was in front of Miku, who was very blushy and could hardly believe what came out of his mouth. Miku, what are you saying? Her proposal was clear and concise. She begged the freckled guy to accept. Izuku, count on me, Miku-san. I'll help you conquer Uesugai-san. With relief, Miku sighed. Miku, thanks, Midoriya. She finally had the last piece in her plan to get closer to her crush. Izuku, what's the plan? The next thing you saw was Izuku putting both lovebirds in a situation without there being any connection. Futaro was very dense in the situations he put him in, so the freckled guy decided on a more direct approach, even going so far as to organize dates where uncomfortable situations were inevitable. In the end, with a lot of effort, he achieved his goal and brought Miku closer to Futaro, but nothing more. Miku, it's impossible, I'll never make it, she lamented sadly on her bed under Izuku's watchful gaze. Izuku, hey, he approached to gently caress her head in an attempt to comfort her. Don't give up. You have everything you need to make Uesugai fall in love, you just have to keep trying. It's not easy to get through that stubborn head. Miku, and if I don't make it? She spoke sadly. Lately, that idea wouldn't leave her. Izuku, then I'll be here for you, Miku-san. Nakano turned to look at him.